baby? What it do, baby? Welcome to Vegeta Saint Army. Thank you guys for liking, watching, and subscribing. And today, we're with the motherfucking OG, TJ Woody, the best one, the OG. So recently, I've been, I was a night shift for like 2 months. I wasn't even busy. So as y'all know, I took like a big ass break. I'm sorry about that. But my man Kenny, TJ have been really stepping up. I've been trying to step up on the videos too. I hired. We'll go more into that in another video, but we got somebody to help me out with the videos and the putting on some actual production value. Actually trying here on some of the thumbnails too, because y'all know I'm trash. But TJ, actually, I just noticed behind you, TJ, you got some mats right behind you. How'd you get those, bro? Why don't you tell everybody what you're doing?
All of these all came from Jerry over at Pro Mats.
Mm.
Every single one of these are the top and bottom. You can't really see this one, but this one both from the Battle City that VSA's been running for a while, and this one here also came from him. It was a custom image. I just told him I want something Majin Vegeta, and he just threw this together and it came out awesome. The one that I play with just got custom from him a few weeks ago. So yeah, the only mats that I play with are Pro Mats.
No, honestly, like I know that's our sponsor, but I'm dead ass like they're the best. Because I've chopped with every one of them, and I don't want to say name, but like, it's been something wrong every time, and he does it quick. I mean, if you live in America or Canada, like he ships it mad quick. Like he shipped my shit twice mad quick, like week or two, and I was like, this is nuts. And also, he actually like employs people that help him with the art. Like he doesn't go on Google, which is huge. Oh, yeah. And it's the same soon with Davidson TG, because Davidson TG took a month off, and then I went to night shift for 2 months for my job. And then, so I deadass haven't been talking to the motherfucker. And then recently I saw that he started doing the, what is this shit called? The texturing on it. So I'm gonna talk, because that shit looks beautiful. I love it. I like metal leaders with I don't like them without the texturing. I don't know why. It's just me personal, but.
Davison actually is getting ready to start releasing leaders with something nobody else is doing. He's putting a chip in it, and it's like a QR code. You can't see it on the leader, but if you take a picture of it, it links directly to his website.
Oh, so is that what that does?
Yeah, that's somebody awesome. Sees your shit, you just have them take a picture, goes right to the website.
Dude, that's so sick, bro. That's awesome. But all right, now let's talk about you though. So tell us about the tournament that you were on, and tell us about, was it best of one, best of three, what, and then we'll go right into the leader.
Yeah. So it was the PPG regional. It was best of one, no sideboard. I played AOD. I ended up going 6-1. The only match that I lost is because we went to time. My opponent had more cards on board than I did. We were the exact same life, all that kind of stuff, but he just had like 2 more cards on board than I did.
Yeah,
so he ended up getting win on that round. But I mean, I think it should have been a 7. But I mean, I'm still happy with a 6-1. It got me 4th place.
Yeah, 100%. So real quick, for those 2 of you watching that don't know what this leader does, there's a Agent of Destruction leader. Here's a picture. You can pause this video and read it. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, this leader. Me personally, I love this leader for the fact that he does draw on the front by looking at the top 5, and he takes a life, which is really cool. But scrying is really good, especially when like you can get any AOD cards, and that is a big library, right? He awakens regularly when your life is at 4 or less. You draw a card on tap 1, which is cool. Some leaders have a shitty untap ability and the awaken. And then the activate main is cool because you can play an AOD that's 2 or less for free. And then for 3, you can play a unison with 3 markers on it, but you're gonna play a bigger unison, right? Because they're usually 4 drops, and I'm gonna go right into the list, and a lot of the cards are cheaper because of the obvious 1 drop, but really what we're here for is right here is the list, and I'm gonna put it here on screenshot view so it's easier for you guys to see. So the first thing I'm seeing here, right, that I'll ask you about, because a lot of the things we see here, if you're sitting at home and you want to play AOD, which is a great deck, it's like easy to learn, hard to master, because I don't know. And by the way, I should be noted, this is before the Bean errata, so we're also gonna ask TJ what he's gonna do after. So first things first, you play the 4 of the 1 drop Babidi, 4 of the AOD 1 drop. These are all obvious. So let's go into why Vegeta Agent of Destruction. What do you see? How did you like this card?
One, because the way that the power level is going with a lot of cards now, you've got the hatch that very rarely people play it, but on play it warps something 4 cost or less. Rarely hits a 5 cost or less. Vegeta will kill something whose power is 25,000 or less. It doesn't worry about energy cost. And also the fact that the cards that I'm playing in my Z deck, I wanted those 4 red Saiyans in there, so when I go into my Z deck stuff, I can combo with a red Saiyan from my drop
Yeah,
if I have the Vegeta in there.
that's awesome. And nobody is like, nobody. I feel like is playing this card. I haven't seen this card being played for a minute, so I love it. It's also SS3 Majin Vegeta, which is the sickest shit.
Exactly.
I have a question. Do you like 3 of the baby Nemba or 4 of?
Um, I had it at 4 for a little while there, but I ended up cutting it back to 3 mainly because it's the only thing in the deck that has a pay 1 10k combo. And I end up cutting it back to 3 because usually I want to see it like maybe I'll end up seeing it like twice a game because most of my games are over by like turn 4, turn 5, so I'm not going to play it every turn. And having 3 in there is enough where I see it on the turns that I want to see it. But when it comes time to out combo my opponent or my opponent swinging in for the kill, I don't have to worry about having to pay the energy for that combo.
Yeah, it feels like this deck feels so much more overtuned in a good way, but not too unfair. Whereas I don't know if you've seen the new Villainous deck. That new Villainous deck feels like it was too overtuned in the way that they were too scared to make another AOD and make it out of control. And I don't know if that deck sucks, but it makes sense. I don't know if you know, but like in the new Villainous deck, every time you play a card, your opponent drops a card for each card that's on play. So they can't make any Villainous like counterplays that get played on. You know what I mean? Like because then you negate, they drop 5. I guess so. They have to really slow that deck down, and luckily AOD's not like that. Like you have a lot of crazy cards, and the characteristic itself in AOD isn't that crazy, so it's not too overpowered. But this is one of those cards that feels like nuts when you play it.
Like most of these cards in AOD have like a wall of text, but when you get down to it, like you're not. Other than like the extra card, you're not free playing anything in this deck. Like you're paying energy for everything that you do in here, so it's fair and balanced for the most part. But I mean, everything does have like even the garlics and the androids, they have a counter ability, and then when they hit the field, they have another ability.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying fair and balanced, but we also have the slug in here, which I love slug. I don't think it should get banned or anything. Explain how you're playing the slug, how you're getting on that, I guess, how you're and how it's working for you.
Okay, so on the back side of the leader, you can free play a 2 cost or less, and when you have the Bobbity out, all your 3 drops become 2 drops. So you play the 3 drop green slug, and then you can pay 1 green, and it plays a 3 cost Slug's Army card from your hand. So then you can just play the Super Namekian for 1.
Awesome, and that's I like that you fit that and the bean in it, because I've seen people go 1-1, try to squeeze it, but the Ruminous deck is pretty good, I'd say. You have 2 slugs, the bean. Obviously, bean feels really good at 4 of, but how do you feel about post errata? How do you feel after this errata? Because you played with the errata, obviously. How do you feel about it now? What would you change, I guess?
Honestly, I'm not going to change anything in my list. Most people play this as an aggressive deck, and I think that's why it hasn't made a big splash in the meta for as long as it's been out. I play mine more like mid-range defensive. So I'll usually go down to just having 1 blue energy open on my turn and then pass, and whatever the first swing is, that's when I bean normally. So it really doesn't affect me all that much because I don't aggressively bean in this deck for the most part. Unless it's one of those times where, I was going in for the kill and I just wanted 1 extra energy. But most of the time I would defensively bean already, so it's actually not going to change anything for my list.
Okay, so also, I mean, bean is so good defensively. Like, bean is so stupid. So here, let me see. La 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 la. I am still in this out of the motherfucking video. Okay. The super combo. You have the 2-2 split. So, I mean, you have the card that plays a super combo from the deck. So, I mean, do you just want one that draws? I'm guessing is your thought here?
Originally, I had it as a 2-2 split before the Baby Janima came out. So, you didn't have that extra draw. And also, I noticed that with the garlic, when you grow in and grab a 2 cost and put it into play, grabbing a super combo and then have your opponent kill it feels really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go just 4 of the Time Patrol Elite because I still want to be able to off leader, off the extra card, off Turles, be able to grab a super combo if I
Yeah.
see it. So
Yeah.
I figured the 2-2 split was good. And in some matches, if your opponent doesn't have a ton of removal, but they want to counterplay a lot, like blue, the slug's good, and I still want to have it in there.
Yeah. 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 And obviously, you can't play Vegeta because your energy is going to be,
Yeah,
technically multiple. Yeah. But just for those of you at home
colors.
trying to
Yeah.
build this deck. Oh, another thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of you guys don't play like that. You have to play a 3-drop Lord Slug, Agent of Destruction in order to play the 2-drop. So for those of you that were wondering about this one, like honestly myself, I don't play AOD, but the reason he's playing this one is to play like he explained earlier. So this is the combo right here that I'm showing y'all. And let's see. Obviously the clone negate. I mean, you can't fuck with that. It's a clone negate. And it's also like it's like a 0.5k cost clone negate, which is sick.
Exactly.
And how do you like the Protector of the People? You're keeping it. I mean, it's like a nice. I'm trying to think who you use it against nowadays because there's more Unison, right? But it does count against Z battle cards because they're battle cards. So how did that work for you? The 2-off Protector of the People.
Well, I mean, the Protector of the People, I found myself in most cases, I just use it as a 1-cost hard negate. Because honestly, in the deck, with the exception of like the Protector or the Support of the Dark Empire, the 4 Garlics are the only negates that the deck has. So I wanted more negates, but I didn't want to go Oceanus because most of the time I don't have 2 energy open anyway. So just having that Protector where I can just pay 1 and hard negate something, that's what I use it for. And occasionally, if somebody swings at me, swings with the leader first, and I can pitch and make it work, then I do. But most of the time, it's a hard negate for 1.
I mean, to be fair, like Support of the Dark Empire. Yeah, Support of the Dark Empire is kind of a heater, honestly. Like, that's probably the one you want to be using. And okay, one thing too is the secret rare. So this is the secret rare that when you use it, let's see, like for every color that's in all your shit, you get to choose one of your opponent's barrier cards and warp it. And then you get 5k for the turn, which is sick. So I guess you use this like as wait, it's not a negate though, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's not a negate. But it does that and you get beamed for a turn. So you're just using the defensive.
You play it in the counterattack window, and like it doesn't negate the attack, but most of the time you're going to do it when your opponent swings with a battle card or like a leader, and then it checks both battle areas and both energy areas. So most of the time I have 4 to 5. So leader's going to end up being like 35, 40k for the turn.
Yeah, because for each color equals for each battle card removed equals like a 5k pump for each one of them. Yeah. That's sick. That's a hard negate, yeah. And it ignores barrier, which is sick. Like nowadays when you have shit like Slug out there, you want to draw with your super combo. You want to, you want to be able to still draw with your Majin Buu, Unison, shit like that. So, and then topping it off, before we get into the side deck and the Z deck, you've got Champa, and you got a 2 of and 1 of Mira. You finish any games with these?
Yeah, I actually ended up finished 1 game early on with the Mira by itself, and then my very last game I finished it with the Mira Oolong combo and double chomp on them. Plus, like the second chomp also gives me that extra red source for when I go to try and play the cards in the Z deck. If I don't find a Vegeta, I can just charge a Champa, and then my opponent most of the time would just assume, like I even heard one of them say it, like, well, he charged a Champa, so I don't have to worry about double strike on this turn. Or on the swing. I'm like, okay, cool. I got you. And then you just double strike it.
What a dumb bitch. Got him. What a dumbass. That's sick. Alright, so you have the 2 Champas. Alright, so let me see. Before I go to the side deck, I kind of want to hit up the Z deck real quick, actually. Alright, so this card's a must. If you guys are watching from home, the 1-drop Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta surmounting the impossible. It's the one of that, what's it called? That you place a card, you self-awaken, you draw, and you place a card under the deck. You know what's funny? I'm such a bad player. I'm always thinking about Majin Vegeta and what could make that deck better. That deck is so fucking dead. Did you play this guy at all? The Vegeta Swanton the Impossible? I mean, you have to keep it anyway because you need it for awakening. Early.
Yeah, it's one of those that like I've had people who played against AOD before, not in this tournament, but other times where they'll just like not swing at my leader until they're ready to awaken, because if the leader gets it, and if you don't see your extra card, you don't get to self-awaken by turn 2. So that's just an extra way. If your opponent decides to be a dick and not swing at you, you can still self-awaken on turn 2 like you want.
Yeah, and it's like it's only one Z energy. It's only one regular energy. You're going heavy on 3 red on the rush attack Vegeta, which is sick. Were you able to pop this? I mean, this is such a good card that, like, if you're able to play it, just put it on just in case. Or the Z card library isn't that big. Exactly. I mean, we've only had one set of Z well, 1.5 if you count the new anniversary box. So the library for the Z deck isn't that big, but you're using it pretty well. Were you able to pop off this Vegeta? I see the 2 red. That might have been a little hard for you.
Well, see, that's why I played the 4 Vegeta AOD card, and then I also have the 2 Champa in there. And then I think in 1 or maybe 2 of the games, I actually charged the Janemba, because if your opponent has 5 cards in rest mode, it ignores energy exhaust. So it actually ends up giving me like 8 red sources in the deck that I can charge.
Cool, yeah.
So, but yeah, I actually got rush attack off a few different times. You know, it surprises people a lot.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so you have, obviously for the red, you have Son Goku, and you have the Vegeta, one of the Gokus, which is cool. You get to deal damage. One of the most broken ones, and I'll get to my favorite just next. Y'all know what my favorite one is. But Cell is obviously sick. You get to get rid of all their shit. Maybe give it triple strike even. And then you have obviously the one of Oolong. I feel like you should be playing more Oolongs. Are you going to change that, or do you only have one? Is that what it is?
No, I have another one. I thought about playing a second Oolong in there. The only downside is that the yellow sources in the deck are my extra cards, which I need to refill my hand since the leader doesn't draw on the back. And they're my negates, which I don't want to charge my negates. Other than that, like, the only thing I have is the Janembas, which I'll occasionally get out. So most of the time I only have like 1 yellow, and I'll charge it later on in the game when I've got like 14 cards in hand.
Oh, that sucks. I see what you mean. Oh man, but Oolong's the best, dude. Oolong, Champa, Mira, Cooler, like, that is the new, like, OG combo of Dragon Ball. This will win Nats, I'm telling you, bro. This is the new MLG play. Alright, let me go to the side deck. Let me see if I can go to screenshot view and then hit the side deck. Alright, cool. Alright, so you have Koichikai, Petrification, Bardock Fully Unleashed. These 3 cards, bring any of these in? What was your thought on...
Well, this tournament was no sideboard. So this is actually just a side deck that I had for the last time that I played in an event. I didn't actually update it or anything.
Okay,
so
fair. So just for you guys watching at home, then he's got Koichikai, 2 of Petrification, 2 of. Obviously, if you're playing against a deck that you think might have, like, green, this is really good against green. Yellow, obviously, Koichikai, Petrification. Will fuck up a lot of cards. I mean, it won't work on Gogeta, obviously, but it's gonna work on U7 Goku if that deck. If that deck plays a big monster, if they're playing a lot of big boys, Bardock Fully Unleashed at 1 of is really good. Good milling Floodgate in Oceanus. Good barrier removal in Vegeta Absolute Agent of Destruction, which is another mass barrier removal along with your secret rare.
Like, that's what those 2 were in there for if I saw a yellow matchup.
Yeah, the Ghost Warriors you obviously don't need anymore, but because the Bean, I don't think there's many cards that do this, so that'll be nice for you to have this little space. I'm sure he'll fill it with, like, I don't know, BMS or some shit like that. Dirty Burst at 2 is a lot of sense. This is cool. You have Unexpected Turn at 2 of in the side. That's awesome. This card, people like forget about this card, which is sick. And you never know when it might come back.
It's really good against, like, certain decks. Like, and I figure if on the way off chance that I saw the mirror match, like, that card just devastates AOD.
Oh, it dicks AOD on. You're right. Yeah. Because it's all, like, they're all 2-drops. It's literally,
like, everything's a 2-drop, so it just, like, nukes the whole board, the body included.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, bro. Do you have anything? I forgot to ask you anything you want to say about the tournament or anything about your deck or anything at all?
Like, I ended up choosing this deck because I've been on it for a year and a half, something like that. I've been playing it on and off, but I thought I had it set up pretty well for what the meta was going to be. I ended up playing SS4 Bardock, the Rainbow deck, in round 1. SS4 Gogeta, the Goku Vegeta, in round 2.
Real quick. I feel like this is like a strictly better version of the Rainbow Bardock.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if you're playing that deck, just play this deck first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
SS4 Bardock, and it's kind of neat, and it's got its tools and stuff like that. But I think you're looking for a good toolboxy deck, like AOD is probably the best toolboxy deck in the game right now.
Yeah,
To me.
probably. And then again, so then you played. You said SS4. How was that?
Yeah,
Did you dirty
because
burst or what?
I end up dropping Slug on him on turn 2, and the rest of the game was just in control. Like the whole rest of the game was mine. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because a cost is drawing, and if you can't draw with slug, you can't. All right,
Yeah,
go
like,
on.
Yeah, he never played the boss monster, and like his early game stuff, I just held up the Android 13s, and I counterplayed anything that was 3-drop or less, and then that game I totally dominated him.
Awesome. All right, so you got those. Any more you remember?
Round 3, I played against SS4 Vegeta Ramp, which was a little bit of a tough matchup. I ended up getting Super Namekian out on him too, so it slowed down his draws a lot. I lost the time in round 4 against Gamma, which is kind of a tough matchup anyway, but it was really fun. And like I said, we went away. I played Sin in round 5, and then I played Gamma again in round 6, and then I played Sin again in round 7.
Oh, okay. Those are the two decks you're gonna see a lot of. I mean, not anymore, but maybe not. Sin, but I still think that deck's great. Gamma's awesome. So okay,
Yeah.
so you didn't like you didn't have like a good. I don't know how to say this. Like you didn't have like an easy way.
Yeah.
Like you played
Except
Sin,
for,
Gamma.
except for round 1, which even round 1 threw me off because like my opponent, like turn 2, I went to swing and he played the ultimate minus energy ball and worked my Bobbity on turn 2, and I was like, well, shit. And then I drew him to hatch the next turn, so it was no big deal.
That's awesome.
But like other than that, like every one of the matchups, it was like meta decks, and it was it was a fight every game.
All right, hell yeah. Are you sticking any changes? Are you sticking to the deck? Are you looking at we look at the horizon when you look at the next set 2? What are your thoughts on this deck or what you're doing? I feel like I always see you playing with you always play something different. You keep it mixed. I know you're an AOD boy, but you're not afraid to mix it up, which is cool. You adapt.
Yeah. I play a bunch of different stuff, like depending on what's coming up. As far as the main deck, I don't think there's anything that I would change in it right now. After thinking about it, I'm gonna end up dropping the Cell in the Z deck because sometimes the 3 is a little bit taxing to try and get to. So I'm gonna switch it out for one of the 2-drop Frieza that warp some or KO something when it comes in, and then when you swing, make your opponent pitch something.
Yeah.
So that way, and those are a little bit easier because I'm going to charge a green anyway to try and get Super Namekian out.
Fuck,
and then
bro. When Jiren, the new Jiren coming out might be good. I don't know if he's only for green leaders though.
Yeah, I don't think it's for a green leader, but I think it's 2 specified green.
Yes.
For the cost, so that'd be kind of tough. And the sideboard, I'm just going to have to see what shakes out in the next few weeks, and then like adjust that accordingly.
Okay. All right. So if you guys, hey, how do you guys like the deck? Do you guys have anything different you do? Any Z deck changes? Any main deck changes? Any side deck changes? If you guys have any questions for Woody, go to the Ascended Facebook group. Go to the comment section below. Tell us what you think, and I'll see you next time. Tell him goodbye, TJ. Don't be like my dad and leave without saying goodbye, bro.
See you guys.